The Imperium is driven by hate. Warhammer is not. In case you haven't noticed, the Imperium is a dying empire stuck in the middle of a galaxy, slowly being torn apart by a good few alien empires. Of course they're driven by hate. It's a hate for survival. The latest absolute bombshell to come from the warhammercommunity.com. There are no goodies in the Warhammer 40k universe. It's a grimdark universe. It's not meant to be at all goody or baddie. In fact, everyone in the universe operates on a bare case for survival. There's no goodies, there are no baddies. All there is the want and the need to survive and grow and stop yourself from being snuffed out. None. Especially not the Imperium. I mean, the Imperium exists because of circumstances that created it. It's not bad, it's not particularly good. But to our standards in our modern liberal democracies, it's horrendous. As you say, numberless legions, soldiers and zealots bludgeon their way across the galaxy, delivering death to anyone or anything that doesn't adhere to their blinkered view of purity. Almost every man and woman toils in misery either on the battlefield, where survival is measured in hours, or in the countless manufactorums and hive slums that fuel the imperial war machine. All of this in slavish servitude to the living corpse of a god emperor whose commandments are at best only half remembered, twisted by time and the feebility of humanity. Warhammer 40k isn't just grimdark, it's the grimmest, darkest. Yes, and it's all for survival. They don't have machines like we do, artificial intelligence like we do, because of law reasons. They're not particularly evil when compared to, I don't know, certain factions of the Eldar who would just wipe everything out. That isn't them. Or how about, I don't know, the Necrons who want to rebuild their own empire and kill everything that isn't them. Or the Tau, who are space communists, fine with just chemically castrating entire swaths of the population if they don't serve a purpose. There are no good people. There are also no bad people. Because the entire universe is about survival. That's all it is, and that's what makes it a fascinating universe to watch. And play in and love. The Imperium of Man stands as a cautionary tale of what could happen should the very worst of humanity's lust for power and extreme, unyielding xenophobia set in. Like so many aspects of Warhammer 40k, the Imperium of Man is satirical. You could say that. You could certainly say it's satirical. It's also a fantasy universe. It has its own, used to be, incredibly internally consistent lore, until certain forces started to get involved. It is hilariously, as you say later on, the use of humor, irony, and exaggeration. It's almost like it's representing Games Workshop in a way. The Games Workshop might as well be the God Emperor, who's a living corpse on a throne, whose exploits are only half remembered and twisted by time by the feebility of ideologues. Unyielding xenophobia, because almost every single alien race in that universe wants to kill humanity. Wants humanity gone, eaten, enslaved, or anything else. Any number of things. Hell, the Necrons want them to be used as their new bodies and then disposed of. For clarity, Satire is the use of humor, irony, or exaggeration, displaying people's vices or the system's flaws for scorn, derision, and ridicule. Something doesn't have to be wacky or laugh out loud funny to be satire. The derision in a setting's amplification of a tyrannical genocidal regime turned up to 11. The Imperium is not an aboriginal state outside of the in-universe perspectives of those who are slaves to its systems, and a monstrous civilization, and its monstrous, and its oh, dang on, what the fuck? Its monstrousness is, oh, I see. I was misreading that, I'm sorry. And its monstrousness is plain for all to see. I don't see the Imperium as particularly monstrous. I see them as trying their most desperate way that they possibly can to stave off the darkness that constantly hits them from within and without, to secure humanity's, in whatever form it takes, as they see it, humanity's prolonged survival. It is monstrous. It's horrendous. It is genocidal. Compared to the Tyranids, though, I'd say that they are probably the better of that particular group. The Tyranids, all they are wanting to do is feed and eat and devour and just strip everything clean with an alien consciousness that we would probably see as evil, because it isn't just bestial. It does have an intelligence at the heart of it. And here is where we get to the real problem in this entire fucking article. One that I can't believe they've had to weigh in to say. We've said it before, but a reminder about what we believe in. We believe in and support... oh wait, shit, sorry, I missed a paragraph. This is what I want to get to. That said, certain real-world hate groups and adherents of historical ideologies best left in the past sometimes seek to claim intellectual properties for their own enjoyment and to co-opt them for their own agendas. Yuri Bezmenov would like to have a word with you, because unfortunately that's true. It's just not the one you're thinking of. You're thinking of another socialist ideology that isn't as genocidal as the one that was warned of it. We've said it before, but a reminder about what we believe in. We believe in and support a community united by shared values of mutual kindness and respect. Fuck off, you don't. No way. This community, what you'd like to call it, a fandom is what I prefer, because a community implies a hierarchy depending on, well, how intellectually pure you are, I suppose, in this situation. The fandom of Warhammer is united by its love of Warhammer, be it fantasy or 40k. It's not of mutual kindness and respect. That comes from within, naturally, as we all bond over something that we all share our love for, regardless of whether or not you're trans, gay, black, Asian, white, straight, male, female, whatever the fuck you are. If you come in and you like the thing, you will be accepted. There might be some weirdness. We're nerds. We're not that socially coherent a lot of the time. Hell, a friend of mine almost was fucking killed by an old Land Raider being thrown about the place because the guy he was fighting against lost, and the guy doesn't know how to take these things because he's severely mentally ill. But we still accept him. Why? Because he loves Warhammer. He loves Warhammer as much as anyone else did in that fucking group. So don't talk to me about kindness and respect when you are willing to just throw people out because they don't believe in whatever socialist bullshit you want us to believe in. Community. Our fantasy settings are grim and dark, but that is not a reflection of who we are or how we feel the real world should be. No shit. Who believes that? 5 people, all named Clyde, who are their brothers, sisters, aunties, family, fucking incestulating just pile of garbage humans. It's great. There is always going to be a certain subject that believes that. Do you know what we used to do with those kind of people? Look at them and laugh. Look at them and laugh when there's a fucking entire army made up of the fucking hammer and sickle and Soviet star. Why? Because it was fucking funny if someone started to spout off about that kind of shit, about how they felt that the Imperium was representative of their perfect commie future. Or if it was perfectly representative of their Nazi future. Although, let me tell you how many people I've actually met who believe that. Zero. Fucking zero. And I'm making the okay hand sign, and we'll get to that in a fucking second, because no doubt that's what you believe as something that's hateful. We will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company or in the Warhammer hobby. Bullshit. You will condone it. You will absolutely push it, because that's what always happens in every hobby. As soon as it starts to get infested by these socialist, communist, weird, arseholic pricks who just come in and think they're better than everyone else from an intellectual standpoint because they have a fucking doctorate in underwater feminist basket weaving and racial studies. No. No. There is a form of prejudice, hatred, and abuse, and it will be perpetrated against the group who makes up the majority of the people in this hobby, and it will be white men, usually socially awkward white men. Hell, I'm lucky that I have the balls to turn around to a lot of women who have come into the hobby and start to really get under my skin with how they get everything they wanted from certain socially awkward men and tell them to go fuck themselves. I've seen more of that than I ever have a literal Nazi or socialist or any other kind of socialist. Continues. If you come to a Games Workshop event or store and behave to the contrary, including wearing the symbols of real-world hate groups, you will be asked to leave. Will you ask anyone who has dyed hair, who identifies as 55 different fucking genders, all of which they can change like that in an instant? Because I consider them a hate group. Why not? What is a hate group? A hate group is entirely subjective. You won't listen to me though. No, not at all. Not at all. Will you ban anyone wearing a communist insignia, a Che Guevara t-shirt? Any of these? Any of them? Why don't you mention what hate groups you dislike? Because it's just corporate bullshit speak, and anyone who actually believes this shit, everyone get out of Warhammer now. I'm out. I'm done. After this, the copyright trolling was enough. I said, nope, I'm done until they behave themselves. I'm fucking done. I'll play it. I've got enough to paint. I've got enough to play with. If necessary, if I need more stuff at any point, I'll find someone online who's selling it, and I'll buy it from them. Because sooner I give my money to even a fucking scalper than I give 1 penny to you anymore. Continues on. You come to a Games Workshop event or a store and behave to the contrary. Oh, yes, sorry, yep. We won't let you participate. We don't want your money. We don't want you in the Warhammer community. Does this include the okay hand sign, as I mentioned before? Does it count the okay hand sign? Does it count the hammer and sickle? Does it count the star? Don't get me wrong. You wander around wearing a fucking armband with the what's it called? The friendship windmill. People don't want to associate with you. Well, guess what? That's fine. If a company doesn't want to associate with you, that's fine. They're not obligated to take your money. That's fine. That's capitalism 101. The problem I have with all of this is that it's always going in one direction and not the band, and it will always go in that direction. I'm not a fan of Nazis. I'm not a fan of really any extremist ideology. Leave me the fuck alone and let me do what I want. Let the business do as they want. Let you do as you want. You do what yourself, do whatever you want. Just don't come crying to me when you're upset. I don't care. Unless I care about you because you're a friend. You're a family member. Or you're the friend of a friend who I don't know who's upset my friend. For those heroes out there running their own Warhammer events, we'd love for you to join in this stance. Over the years, we've been fortunate enough to support events like Adepticon and the Las Vegas Open, Blood and Glory, and many, many more with terrain, prizes, and goodie bags. We've also provided staff with organisation and rules queries and to judge painting competitions and run seminars. Yeah, that's fine. Don't have a problem with that particularly. Even though third party running it is usually more balanced than anything you've ever done, but there we go. If you need help running an event, including creating a safe and rewarding experience for your attendees, we're here to help. Just drop our events team an email at warhammerevents@gwplc.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we're ready to offer any support we can. Right. Creating a safe place for people to game is very important, especially when there's going to be kids around. We don't want Rosenbaums about diddling kids. We don't. We never have. We never will, unless you're Wizards of the Coast and your judges program is full of pedophiles. We don't want any of these people there. That is significantly worse. Any pedophile, any rapist, anything like that is worse than any Nazi you can think of, including Hitler. Because Hitler's not alive anymore. However, why this is going on, I don't like. I don't like at all. I mean, if someone's being a bit of a cunt at one of these events, as in full-on harassment, bullying, intimidation in order to get their scores up, the rest of it, absolutely throw them out. Absolutely throw them out. It's your right as the event organisers. Someone's dressed, say, as a Nazi, and you don't want them to be included, fine. Throw some balls and tell them to go get changed. Stop being a fucking idiot. Say, oh, well, you know, I don't care. If you don't want that there, you throw them out. It's your right as the organiser. I personally think you should be allowed to dress as a Nazi and go to these things if you want. I think you should be allowed to dress as a communist and go to these things if you want. I think if you want to dress up as, I don't know, one of Idi Armin's fucking group, go ahead. If you want to dress as a Muslim terrorist, go right ahead. If you want to dress as a Catholic terrorist, go right ahead. If you want to dress as anything, go right ahead. However, if the tournament organizer says no, tough luck. Or they tell you to go get changed. It's not about being uncomfortable. It's about what they say about it. Because theirs is a private organization. Start your own if you want to, and do it that way. But they will always want to do it from the top down. Don't get me wrong, if someone's wearing a Nazi uniform and he's wanting to play Warhammer, sure, I'll play it. Doesn't bother me none. Communist, sure, go ahead, doesn't bother me none. I'm going to be making jabs all the time at their ideology as we're going along. Because that's fun, especially if someone takes it that seriously. And if you're an educator, youth worker, or a leader of a young person's group, not a Nazi youth, I suppose, I'm going to guess by that one, because you haven't said which ideology you don't like, then we can support you too. You've already contributed millions of pounds to our Warhammer Alliance network, and are committed to continuing to provide free miniatures and resources to schools, scouts, asterisk, and similar youth groups. It's our hope that the Warhammer Alliance can continue. I was fine throughout this entire thing until now. Can continue to provide a creative and educational outlet, building a community of shared belonging and respect between young people from all walks of life. If you're interested in Warhammer Alliance, please visit warhammeralliance.com. No, it's not. Again, it's not about shared belonging and respect between young people. If young people like this hobby, they will like Warhammer. They're not interested in belonging and respect. No, they're interested in throwing dice around and killing that Eldar. Because all Eldar, all fucking knife ears deserve to be put against the wall. You, Games Workshop, shouldn't be making this statement. All you are saying is we are for good things and we don't like bad things. All you're saying, like, this is, you are making the exact argument that, like, 5-6 years ago, the Daily fucking Heil, Daily Mail for people who aren't from Britain, made about some fucker stabbing his girlfriend or wife or whatever it was to death because she was cheating on him. It wasn't because she was cheating on him. It wasn't because he's a fucking mental case. The Daily Mail basically said, oh, it's because he played Necromunda. And you're agreeing with them. You're agreeing with the Jack Thompsons, with the Hillary Clintons, with the Donald Trumps, with the Joe Bidens, who've all at some point said these games, if they're video games or what the fuck ever, with the fucking satanic panic Christians back in the day who tried to ban a fuck ton of WotC cards. These things will promote an ideology we don't like. Ban it. You believe that that's the case. If you didn't, you wouldn't be posting this, or one of your fucking stupid wee socialist interns wouldn't be posting this, trying to get more fucking power for their stupid bloody ideology. Only serves you at the end of the day as well, because now you get more power over the fucking fandom. You can suddenly turn around at some point, because we all know you fucking want to, because you killed Warhammer Fantasy. You just want to turn around one day and go, we don't want to do any more miniatures. We're just going to sell Funko Pops. We're just going to sell I don't fucking know whatever. I mean, something must have gone wrong considering the fact that you brought Warhammer Fantasy back in a really kidified and shit way with your stupid fucking Kislev ice witches whose all bodyguards can just use magic now, even though the fucking Tsaress, I think is her name, what's his name? Getting heated now and I can't remember properly, was the only one in Kislev that could use magic like that. Fucking ice magic. Fucking cool as shit. She's special. She's no longer special anymore. It's just fuck tons of people can do it. Why? Fuck knows. We just wanted to do it. Then we just keep fucking bollocks. In conclusion, GW, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm fucking just done. You want your new fans who believe this shit, who believe that just because the Imperium might be a satire of like 50,000 different genocidal regimes over the fucking time, that it might have a negative impact on someone who would be insane enough to go, oh, that's the way I want to live. I want to rule that. I want to live in that universe. No. I'm done. I'm done with you. Gonna have to try and find some other fucking miniature game. I might go back to BattleTech. Even though I got into that into a lot today with quite a few people on Twitter, because they're already infested with these kind of idiots. It's never enough diversity. Never enough. You know why this hurt? Okay, let this be the sign off. Do you know why this hurts so much? It's not from the money I've invested. It's not. It really isn't. I'm not even thinking about how much I've invested in Warhammer. You know why? Because I cared about it. I loved it. I wanted to do it. I put my heart and soul in. And do you know what this game has done for me? Do you know what this game has done for me? It's given me a club that I could socialize in. It's given me a place where I can earn respect, because it's not freely given. I can make friends in that thing, in that club, from our natural love of this hobby. It's helped with my dyspraxia massively. Hell, I shouldn't be able to paint the way I do, as good as I can do. I still can't do freehand that well, as people who see my Instagram can attest to. But I have learned so much. I have learned to do so much by painting, by focusing on hand-eye coordination, and it's been so good for me. I can't describe how much this hobby has done for me mentally in my mental department. It gave me a proper friend group, which is something that's hard to do when you're, well, it's quite severely dyspraxic, for one. And also, your entire family wasn't born in the correct area. Leaves you very socially isolated. And this hobby let me meet people who I can't really associate with anymore, because they're COVID fascists, and I can't stand it anymore. And everything about this just breaks my heart. it ruins my heart to something rotten. To see how far you're willing to be, to go, to what? Say that you don't like someone dressing up as a Nazi and playing games? You don't like someone dressing up in something you disagree with to win tournaments easy? Because no one wanted to play against him? You could have just gone, oh, here's what this boy did. He's an idiot. Don't do this at events. You're a moron if you do. No, you have to go on a fucking diatribe of bullshit. Oh, I'm upset. Oh, I'm very upset. Fuck it, I'm done. Fucking done. Fucking done with all of yous.